What's going on, guys? I'm Journey, back with a thoughts video, this time on Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. This is a remake from the original game that debuted on the PSP, and with it brings some new upgrades, plus the ability to actually play on a controller. And the big screen, it does help drastically, more than you will ever know, trust me. I'm a beneficiary, it is what it is. But you are Zack, and the story essentially tells your rise to first class soldier. And along the way, there's other underlining themes that kind of go along with the game as well. The passage of the Buster Sword. See, Zack had a mentor. His name was Angeal, the original wielder of the Buster Sword. So how Cloud came to be, well, you're going to want to have to play the game to figure all this stuff out. Along the way, there's also a guy named Genesis who loves to eat apples, and Sephiroth, everybody's favorite anti-villain, whatever he is. He just is what he is, right? Hojo's in here, and there's a lot of other characters as well too. So there's going to be at least enough to the story. And if you're a Final Fantasy VII fan, there's no reason why you probably wouldn't want to get this game if you haven't already gotten it yet. I mean, it's more FF7. It's the prequel. It is what it is. The combat is still much the same. You start your battles off. Inside the battles, there's up the top right of the screen, there's this Russian roulette that goes on. And it's pretty much basically the DMW, and it's equipped with a lot of characters that you meet throughout your campaign. The more you interact with things, the more progress that you make through the story, the more the gauge fills, and well, the higher your chances you are to be able to get characters. And some of these characters come with different benefits. Like for instance, Aerith gives you a complete refill of everything: your HP, your MP, and your AP. Your AP is specific for action-based things that are more of the physical sense. So jump, if you're like playing like a dragoon, that's part of your AP pool. Mug, part of your AP pool. MP pools are magic-based stuff. So Cure, Curaga, Thundaga. So there's a lot here, but you're going to be going through these encounters, and a lot of these encounters, sometimes depending on how far you get, you're going to be running around waiting for these limit breaks to happen, pending, because you can get pretty far, especially in your side missions. Your side missions are, consider them like 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 2-1. They're mission-based structure. So when you get done with one, another one's going to open up, and it will go up to a point until then you have to then progress through the story to unlock more. You can get pretty powerful very, very quickly. But at the same time, there is a lot that is here, which is going to bring me towards the meat of the game. Now, I think the campaign is pretty short. You know, it's stuff here, but I think the meat of it is your side missions. Unfortunately for your side missions, when you get into an area, it's literally going to be the same thing over and over and over again, depending on the area. So you're going to see the same areas over and over and over again. And when you get there, you're going to be looking for X amount of number of chests. And then there is going to be a boss that you will take out in the end. And so all you're going to hear, especially as you're moving around through the world, is combat resolved. Combat resolved. Initiate combat mode. Combat resolved. Combat resolved. And it's just going to go on and on and on and on. But it's still pretty dope. Your materia you acquire from these missions. You also acquire materia from killing enemies and others, various stuff as well. So there's also the fusion thing in there, if you remember from the original FF7. And if you don't remember, let's say you're brand new, you could take your materia and fuse it into another materia. And there's also other items that you acquire that you can then boost and get something entirely new, or just more stats on top of it. So let's say you took something like darkness and you fused it with another darkness, and then you put something else in there. It might change from, let's say, darkness to a darkness +2 with added 30% of your HP, something like that. You can keep going until it stacks. You can max out your characters that way. But there's a lot here. Now the music is I haven't noticed a change from the last time I played, so it's pretty good. What I do notice though, as far as the UI elements, they brought over what they had from Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and they brought it over here, which I am very, very happy with. I do like their new UI. I do love the color theme. I do love how easily accessible things are. And it just seems to be, there's a lot of here, but it's very simplistic, and I do like it. Now, like I said, with the story, it's just kind of like, it just depends. If you're an FF7 person, this is gonna be all for you. If not, trust me, this is not gonna set a new standard for storytelling or anything else of that sort. And with some of the scores, it can invoke more emotion depending on like what you're doing, where you're at in the campaign. But that's that. Outside of that, there's summonings. You can debuff your character. Well, you can debuff enemies. You can buff your characters. But be careful as you get further along in the game. There are instant death attacks, and them jokers come frequent. There are enemies that have certain buffs that are automatic, like for instance, bravery, maybe faith, whatever it may be. They have those things from the start, so you got to be careful as you're moving along. And outside of that, I mean, it's all here. Go through your side missions, continue your campaign, continue to get more powerful, fuse your materia, sell some stuff, and you are well on your way. This is FF7 Crisis Core. There's not much that's different outside of maybe some missions that you might farm for this, or some other missions that might have this, or whatever enemy might carry that. Might be little small differences there, but at the end of the day, it is essentially the same product as you always knew, but just more comfort because you're playing with a controller on the big screen, or you're playing on the go, depending on your platform. But that's my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. This is a high recommendation for me if you're a Final Fantasy person. If you're not a Final Fantasy person, matter of fact, if you're more of an action-based RPG kind of guy, this is for you. If you are a traditional base and you die and you breathe, you die on the traditional, this is most definitely not for you. It ain't changing because this is all action, baby. But that's just it. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Until then, make sure you take care of yourselves and take care of each other. And I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Until then, take care, like, subscribe. That's it. Later, guys.